Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. We are doing an aviation special, and today we are in conversation with the Chief Business Officer of Cleartrip, Mr. Prahlad Krishnamurthy. Prahlad, thank you for joining us on Business Today's show. It's a pleasure to have you here. First things first, Prahlad, and I must ask you this because it is the season of vacations, of traveling. So in terms of airfares, which has been quite the talk of the town, how the airfares looking like, especially for tourist sectors domestically?
Karishma, thanks for having me on the show. Always good to give insights about the industry here. Actually, there has been a lot of rationalization with respect to the fares. Since October, November, December from last year, things have been pretty quite stable, I would say, right? And we expect a strong summer season ahead of us as well. And I don't see fares changing heavily from what they are today.
Okay. Now, you did talk about fares kind of stabilizing, rationalizing, but in terms of, if I ask you, which destinations do well in terms of travelers booking, just an idea. I know you may not have the exact data because we are just starting off with the traveling schedule. Which are the key destinations that usually tourists opt for when it comes to traveling during the summer?
So actually, we have decent amount of information on this because a lot of the summer season started, I would say, from around 20th, 22nd of March itself, right? So we have good 10 days of information that's quite rich. So I would say the top destination you could say are Goa, of course, it remains an all-time favorite. Then there's Srinagar, Cochin, Varanasi, Bagdogra, Dehradun. These are the top destinations from a domestic standpoint. And international, it is Thailand, UAE, Singapore, Maldives, Saudi Arabia has started coming into the top 10, right? And Nepal. So this is our top destinations. I hope that helps.
Okay, and irrespective of demand, the airfares for these remain stabilized, is what you're telling me?
Currently, yes. So there are, let us say, a lot of capacity has not yet been added, right? So because of which the demand and supply, there is a decent amount of match there. So that's why the airfares haven't dramatically increased yet.
Okay. Post COVID, we have also seen a lot of business traveling. So, in terms of commercial sectors, have you seen a major jump in terms of traveling and consumer behavior?
Yes, corporate travel is quite has seen a huge resurgence, right? It's back quite a bit, and the typical metros have kind of really started spiking, right? So the number of flights between Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Calcutta, Hyderabad, all these are really back, and you would say that at least there has been a 3 to 4x kind of increase during obviously COVID levels to now. So there has been a great comeback on the corporate side for sure, both air and hotels, both.
Okay, that's good to know. You're telling us that things have almost kicked back to being pre pandemic if we talk about even the consumer behavior, because we're referring to the pre pandemic and the post pandemic analogy. In terms of Cleartrip, how have you seen the growth when it comes to bookings when and the passenger traffic?
See, Cleartrip has from a pre-COVID level, right? We are talking about the industry almost being back from pre-COVID level, but Cleartrip per se has actually grown almost 3 times from a pre-COVID level, right? So our growth has been quite good and exciting over the last 3 years. You would say 3x from a top line standpoint and from a number of segments or room night standpoint will be around 2.5x. This is the kind of growth that we have seen.
Right. And as an online travel agency, do you have some kind of challenges that you face? For example, even around when the union budget was being released, a lot of aviation companies, including the airlines, had proposed that continuous fuel prices are a major issue when it comes to their daily operations. Is there a challenge that the online travel agency industry is also facing, which you think will need government intervention?
No, on the contrary, I think sentiment is amazing, right? So there is a huge resurgence which is happening on travel. We expect a very, very strong summer season, right? Our job, I think, Cleartrip, along with the other OTAs, is only to serve the demand very, very well. There is a lot of opportunity for us to kind of, innovate for our customers, offer, let us say, propositions which don't exist in the past. Just for an example, around a week back, we launched something called Child Flies Free with Your Family, right? It was a huge hit. So our job is just to try and pivot towards more and more customer oriented, you could say, propositions. And I don't think we are faced a lot by the current challenges which are there. It's just opportunities which lie out ahead of us.
Was that an ad that was published by Cleartrip, or was that more of a promotional strategy?
So we had a nation on vacation event which happened from 22nd March to 30th March. It was a huge success. In that, one of the propositions which was there was this. So where we said we wanted to be inclusive, we wanted to run something a little differentiated to push family travel as well. There is a lot of summer, let us say, gap which comes in for students and for kids particularly. So family travel is going to get pushed. So this is one of the propositions which panned out quite interestingly well for us.
Okay, that's of course quite an interesting promotional strategy to, ramp up also your sales and get consumers to opt for Cleartrip. Let's talk a bit about competition in the market. A lot of competitors exist in this space. We have other big names. We have few conventional names that have also been doing. What is the USP that stands you out from the rest?
So first is it's good to have competition in this space, just like any other space. I think it's a huge market yet to be tapped. This market is also growing in India. There's a lot of investment from the government across from an infrastructure standpoint, whether it is more airports, whether it is more better trains, right? Roads are improving with respect to a buses standpoint. So across the board, there is enough room for this multiple players in the market. That's how we firmly believe. How we are trying to differentiate, or what we hope we bring to the table, because there are great players out there, we respect them a lot, but Cleartrip is always known for its simplicity, right? For its design experience, for its seamless kind of fast booking engine, right? The pivot that we put, our customers are at the center of our strategy, right? Whether it's our quicker refund policy, right? Whether it is our synergies with let us say other companies like Flipkart, Myntra, and so on and so forth. There's how we are trying to differentiate ourselves in some shape and form.
You did talk about the refund policy, but what I'm going to tap here is what special awaits this summer season. It's the holiday season, so are we going to see some kind of discounts for consumers? It's the right time where people actually opt for vacations.
Yeah, for sure. So making travel affordable and accessible for all is one of our key vision statements as well, right? So for that, you will see more and more affordable options. So if you come on Cleartrip in the month of April, you will realize that there is a lot of no-cost EMI options which are running. So you are thinking about a trip to Thailand, right? You want to break that down into 3 EMIs at no cost. Yes, we are able to kind of offer that to you. You want to extend your stay by one more day, we will offer 5 nights and you will get maybe an additional night free, right? So there is a lot of incentives for our customers to try and extend their vacation. That is one. Second is, if you are able to, let us say, afford a particular location, can you afford something larger, something bigger, right? You can push your ambition on the travels space a little bit, and I hope we can offer our customers that. So just to give you a sneak peek, these are a couple of things that we are doing as well.
That's good to know. What are your plans going forward? Are you looking at any expansion plans? Do you cover all the sectors internationally also?
Yeah, so from a flight standpoint, we offer the complete package, right? We still we are present in hotels as well. We just recently launched buses as well, right? So we cover international across the board. In fact, international has been a great story for us. There has been the number which we spoke about from a growth standpoint is further accelerated from an international standpoint, right? So we have seen a huge resurgence for destinations like Singapore, Indonesia, entire Australia belt, we are quite strong at. Then, of course, there is France and Switzerland from a Europe standpoint that we do well at. So, yes, international has contributed very well to our growth.
Okay. Prahlad, before we end this interview, I have to ask you this, and this is to try and understand the behavioral pattern of an Indian passenger. Now, when they log in Cleartrip and when they're trying to book a flight across the domestic sector, which flights do you think do well in terms of bookings? Because now we have quite a riot in the air. We have new emergence like Akasa Air, Air India 2.0 under Tata. There is also, of course, other key airlines like Vistara, Indigo, SpiceJet, and AirAsia.
Yeah, so the addition of somebody like Akasa, right, is good for the market. There has been a lot of capacity which has been added. They've rapidly kind of expanded over the last 1 year. It's also helped rationalize the prices across the board. If you come up with Air India started offering in some of its flights premium economy, which was primarily a Vistara kind of a product in India, right? You have more of that coming in. The product itself, from an aircraft standpoint, is improving across the board. So I think we are at a stage in the Indian market where everybody would welcome more airlines, right? More aircrafts getting inducted. This entire industry is going to double in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's good. It's good for the industry, and I think rather than just saying which one is preferred, there are enough and more customers who have choices. Then these choices need to exist in the market for customers to make a preferred booking, right? And each of these airlines is offering something different, something unique to our customers. So it's great to have, I wouldn't say competition, but so many players in the Indian market.
Yeah, and consumer behaviors also depend a lot on what the pricing is or also what the comfort is. For example, what a premium economy of an Air India may offer is something that a lot of consumers may want to try, because that is something new that's emerging in the market.
Yeah, for sure. So there are preferences. A lot of the choices made by the airlines are after understanding the consumers quite a bit, right? So while there is a co-product, some of the OTAs also, in conjunction with the airline, we work quite closely together to come up and solve for customers, right? Whether it is some flexibility options that the customer wants, or whether it's an upgrade that the customer potentially wants, whether it is the timings on when they want to travel in a weekday or a weekend, right? I think we are all moving in the right direction.
Right. One last question, and this is pertaining to the capacity and fleet size of couple of airlines. While a lot of airlines are now looking to expand their fleet size, but as they await their aircrafts, we also see a booming trend in India in terms of bookings. Do you think this could be the reason that airfares could go higher in the coming days, in the coming months?
See, unfortunately, a lot of this, there are a lot of supply chain issues also which are currently there from an incoming aircraft standpoint, because of which I don't see the fares dramatically changing over the next 2 3 months. So once new additions keep coming in, there could be a little bit of change. But currently in the summer season, not expecting much of a change. There could be something marginal, but not more.
Okay, if we look at a chart graph for a year, which is the season that does really well when it comes to domestic bookings in terms of
Sure.
airlines? Is it airfares? Sorry, is it during the summer or a festive season like Diwali or New
So
Year's?
both of these are the peak. They are the best for the industry, right? So we have just exited one good period, which is October, November, December. We're entering another great period, which is, let us say, April, May, and a little bit of June. So these two are the peak. So these 6 months make up of a lot of good news in the industry, right? There's a lot of travel which happens around the board. So yeah, expect it to be another great summer season, which is upcoming.
Thank you very much, Prahlad, for joining us on this conversation. Of course, we are looking for a booming Indian aviation market in the coming days, especially with the fact that there are new airlines coming up and that government has big plans for the sector.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.